What's up, guys? It's your boy Isaiah, and I'm back with another one. Going to explain some things, because I've been noticing, our group, our mulatto group, is very, and I mean very, disorganized, and I'm gonna break everything down right quick. So tune in. All right, so we're going to start off with one historical weight. In many societies, mixed people were slotted into in between roles. Sometimes they were exoticized or fetishized, especially women being seen as breeders or sexualized objects, and sometimes they were excluded or distrusted, often men being told they lack status. These patterns are rooted in colonial hierarchies and systematic racism, but not in the people themselves. Now, I mention this is because I notice a lot of mixed women get fetishized and shit, by mono men, and they're stuck on mono problems. They're never worried about their own kind. They're always worried about mono issues, right? The bootlickers, or what we call them, bootlickers. Um, but this has been going on historically. So anyway, let's get into the next slide. Mono problems spillover, number two. Like I just said in the first slide, everybody's focused on mono issues. You're right that mixed people often get caught in the crossfire of mono identity struggles. For example, they may be pressured to pick a side or told they're not enough of one group. That can leave them without a stable community identity, which makes it easy for outside stereotypes to stick. So I know a lot of us are, stuck with these identity problems. Some people try to go with whites, some people try to go with blacks, but neither side is accepting of you, or even the mongoloid sides, or, same thing. So that's why I say, we need to come together and stick together, because this is the problem right here. We're disorganized, and with these mono groups, it's like some kid stuck in the hood trying to choose between blood and crip. And the whole time, you just need to be your own disciple. Anyway, let's get into it. Slide 3. Number 3 is gendered differences. Sorry, y'all. Historically, women of mixed backgrounds were often hypersexualized, and men were emasculated or stripped of social status. That's not a natural truth about mixed people. It's a reflection of how power dynamics played out across race and gender. So like I said, monoracials, they have, more numbers. Historically they were put in, some were put in dominant positions, some weren't. But things change over time. But this what was going on. Women were being sexualized, and men were being emasculated and stripped of social status. You remember the video I made about the Blue Vein Society? That's probably part of what was going on. When the NAACP and the Jim Crow era, all of that. Anyway, let's get into slide 4. Historical context of mulattoes. In slave societies, Caribbean, Latin America, and U.S. South, mulattoes often had ambiguous status, sometimes treated above darker Africans but below whites. This produced the buffer class role. Closer proximity to whiteness gave some privilege, but also tied their identity to serving white or monoracial interests. That's where the stereotypes of mulatto women as sexual objects and light-skinned men as lacking full masculinity status come from. Both are rooted in colonial control. So like I said, colonial control, like I said, we all said this. They want us to be in subordinate positions. They're bitches. They want us to be their bitch. Both the men and the women. And the women, it's bad enough. A lot of them already are conquered. So most of us guys, we have to stick up, because that's what they did. And let's go into the next slide. All right. Why they get pulled into mono problems. Mulattoes are usually expected to choose blackness or whiteness in societies obsessed with racial categories. In the US, the one drop rule historically forced them into black identity even if they had half or more European ancestry. In the Caribbean, Latin America, they were often a separate caste, but still tied to colonial power struggles. That history explains why today many mulattoes and light skins feel like their struggles revolve around black versus white conflicts rather than an independent identity. So you see that, guys, and I have, people that visit these, South America places and Latin America places and the Caribbean. They tell me about, how mulattoes have their own thing going on, like a separate caste, like I just said, but still, it's issues going on with mono problems. Um. Anyway, let's get into the next slide. Number 3, gender dynamics. Mulatto women, historically fetishized by both white and black men, has exotic, which reinforce the breeder cum dumpster stereotype. That's not who they are, but how society reduced them. Mulatto and light-skinned men, often stripped of dominance in both communities, seen as soft, privileged, or not real men unless they prove themselves in mono struggles. And especially in the community with the Bantus, a lot of mixed men have to prove themselves in the hood, like G Herbo and Kevin Gates, and you had guys like Drake, who really wasn't from a hood and tried to hang around and fit in and be cool. You got those types too. Same thing with T.I., light-skinned dude, grew up in the southern hood of Atlanta, had to prove himself. They call him a light-skinned man with dark-skinned tendencies, but it's just fucking, I don't know. And really, I want to put more emphasis about this because I'm just speaking on the black part about, mixed and light-skinned dudes putting themselves on the line in the hood to prove themselves to Bantus, and then the women just giving their pussy away and, letting the Bantu put a seed in her wound. Another thing in the white community, they challenge mixed MLS men financially, same thing like black guys. Oh, you're supposed to be some broke, bum down ass minority. And same thing, white light skinned women get sexualized there as well. A black girl, light skinned black girl, I see her pussy tastes like. Alright, so let's get into the next slide. Number 4, modern reality. These stereotypes are still alive in music, dating, and community politics, but many mixed people are pushing back. Some are forming mixed identity spaces where they don't have to frame themselves through black or white struggles alone. Others embrace being black, but work to challenge colorism and fetishization within that space. And like I said, this number of people are very small and very unknown. I'm the group that wants to form the mixed identity. That's what I care about. Us coming together because mulatto people, we are the only ones who understand each other. We need to get numbers and stuff, make our own spaces. You know what I'm saying? Hang out with each other, all of that. Go clubbing with each other, go party, go hang out, mulatto parties, something. Mulatto music video, something. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. This is some extra add-ons. Mulatto women often gain visibility faster because of how society already fetishizes and platforms them in music, beauty, and social media. Mulatto men, on the other hand, get challenged more, either emasculated in black spaces, you're too soft, or reduced in white spaces, you're still black. That tension makes it harder to build status. So, like I said, mixed mulatto women, you have more influence because, like I said, you're seeing more the ones who aren't fucking bootlickers for mono groups. If there's a way you can get this message out here and promote light skin and MLS men, do it. You know, because that will gain traction right there. You know, and some of these MLS guys who have big followings, same thing. Promote with this movement that me and a couple others are on. Here goes another one. Why physical training matters for identity building. One, it reclaims masculinity, strength, skill, discipline, push back against stereotypes of light-skinned and mulatto men being weak or less masculine. Two, creates brotherhood. Training in boxing, MMA, or martial arts build community and trust between men who are in the same identity struggle. Number three, respect across groups. Physical skill and confidence can earn recognition even in mono spaces that usually dismiss mulattoes. Number four, discipline equals image. It's not just about muscle, boxing, or MMA or weapons. Training require discipline, patience, and focus. That mindset carries into leadership, work, and identity building. So, like I said, you guys, for all my guys out there, this is somewhat of a thing you guys could do to build yourself up as a man, you know? Because, like I said, these men, they're going to challenge you physically. And like I said, I see some of y'all beat the hell out of these dudes, but some of these dudes beat the hell out of some of y'all. And like I said, I ain't never take a loss from a Caucasoid or a Mongoloid, but I did lose to a couple Negroids, maybe like two. But anyway, that's my fight record. I'm honest. I'm gonna be a man about my shit. Anyway, let's keep it going. So the last slide, that was just the physical aspect of everything. But let's go beyond the physical aspect, right? To really solidify mulatto spaces, it can't just be physical. It should be three pillars working together: physical, gym, combat, sports, martial arts. What I'm saying, intellectual, building content, history, philosophy, art, and documenting mulatto experiences. Economic network, supporting mulatto-led projects, businesses, and platforms. So influence isn't just social media clout, but real-world impact. That way, mulatto men won't be reacting to emasculation. They'll be redefining status on their own terms. So like I said, you know, we have to get into other aspects besides the physical part. We have to get intellectual about our philosophy, our history, and documenting our experiences. You know, that's why I document a lot of parts of my life, and I document subjects that come to my mind, and this is one, you know, and this is part of making a step. For those of you mulatto guys who are into like the economic network aspect of everything, we really need you guys the most to step in and do something about this. You know, I'm just a guy from Baltimore, you know, that had experiences, you know, from the Bantu community, but the economic network and intellectual aspect, that's what we need the most. Now, stay tuned for the next one. I have a new video coming, Mulatto Men's Blueprint, coming soon. Stay tuned.